if you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, then we're shutting the door and you can't come in. So because of this, they're on the Tom Coughlin schedule. They're on time. They're 5 minutes early on the clock, but they're on time. And for this, we get the education about everything going on in Corpus Christi involving their move and their development into USL League One. And for this, we go to Corpus Christi and we get to hang out with folks and find out about an education about building a franchise. And it's great to have both of you here hanging out with us this morning once again. Eran Hami, Director of Communications, Marissa Trevino, Director of Ops for Corpus Christi FC. Welcome to the morning show. Thanks for dropping by.
Good morning, John. Yeah, funny you mentioned Tom Coughlin. That's how I was brought up. So I'm trying to bring that to the business world as well.
Strong. Love that. Okay, so who won the toss and who gets to answer the first question, or who's deferring? Who won the toss this morning?
I'm deferring.
Oh.
I guess that's me.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. See, and that was
on the second half team.
Well, because and you saw what he did, Marissa. Eran, he goes. He's like, I'm deferring, and then he goes and gets his drink. You see, he puts himself in a place where he's just like, no, I can't answer it because I'm taking a sip of my morning caffeine. I see how this goes. All right. So, Marissa, let me ask you to start things off. What is it like to be at this particular point of the development of the franchise to where, we know the USL League One, they're looking right now at a championship game and they're looking for the last game of the year. And that means that Corpus Christi FC is that much closer to being online in USL League One. What's it like to be at this particular moment in time for you guys?
It's crunch time. I think that you're looking at two people who are very highly involved in getting things moving forward in a very fast manner. We had this discussion earlier Monday. I was like, listen, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, and then it's preseason. Yeah. So Eran and I work very closely together. We're at the front working as hard, pushing forward, doing everything that is expected by the USL One, making sure we have all our ducks in a row, making sure our I's are dotted, our T's are crossed. We have every P and Q. You're looking at the team right here. It's stressful, but it's fun, and it's really amazing to see that this is coming to Corpus Christi.
So, and outside of our ownership, sorry, John, outside of our ownership, she's been here the longest. So she's seen the change from USL 2 to USL 1 and the progress it's taken and what it's done for this community.
So, Eran, she mentioned getting to this particular point. For those that don't know, and I'm sure that both of you can answer this question just as well, but I want to start with you, Eran. For those that don't know the footprint, those that don't know what soccer means to Corpus Christi and that particular part of Texas, how would you break down what soccer means to that part of the footprint?
I think it's definitely a growing sport. You'd be surprised in South Texas. I know football is what we talk about down here. Baseball is a big sport because we win state championships in baseball down here a lot of the time. But soccer's actually been one of those things that has had to develop over the last decade. I know we're close to Central America. We're not far from the border. So you'd think the fandom would be strong. And people do have their teams outside of the U.S. But we want to bring them a team that they can be proud of here in South Texas. We're the only pro team now south of San Antonio. So that's something for them to rally around, from people from the Valley to come up, from people from Laredo to come out this way. So we're trying to grow something bigger than just Corpus Christi, but extended out towards what we call the Coastal Bend.
Yeah. And so, Marissa, when we discuss all of this build, for those that may not know the timeline, how far back are we talking when CCFC comes on and they mention, okay, League Two with obviously heading to League One, but how long of a runway are we talking about here from genesis of the idea to where the two of you are hanging out with me now?
Wow. I think it's been 4 years. Mm-hmm. Right when I came in, they started approaching Dr. Kingsley about moving into USL One. So it's been 4 years in the making, and we've just been pushing forward, making sure that it was something that we could sustain here in Corpus Christi. And honestly, it's been a long road, but it's gone very fast.
It has felt that way. I jumped on board earlier this year, and it feels like we just skyrocketed ever since then.
And to that point, it kind of goes to the theme that we've had this morning, because we had the big announcement here in Atlanta last night about going online for NWSL ATL as Team 17 in 2028. And the reason that I asked how long of a runway we had here is because a lot of folks may sit there and see, oh yeah, 2028, it's over there. And we're like, no, you don't understand. It's right there. And as to your point, Marissa, it's like, yeah, we've got the holidays and then we're going. So it's like, you can't really, you look at a timeline and it's just kind of like, yeah, but no, it's a consistent kind of a thing you're on that you're having to go through, knowing that it's right there. I mean, it's got to be exciting and daunting and challenging all at the same time.
Yeah, I've been having different conversations with our staff from our ticketing to our partnerships and coach Eamon Zayed, who's just come in, and love the guy very much. We're planning things out through the next month, and then we're like, wait a minute. After the new year, we're going right to preseason. We don't have any time for this anymore. We have to get it done now. And I think teams like Atlanta, who have at least a few years, I think they'll be set in a good position to set it up if they move at a fast pace. But we have to move at an even faster pace when we only had a year or so to get ready.
Eran, Hami, Director of Comms, Marissa Trevino, Director of Ops for Corpus Christi FC, as they get ready to hop into USL League One. Marissa, I'm going to ask you about field trips. And I don't know. I think it's 55 cents a mile these days that you can write off on your taxes when it comes to doing things in a business sense. How many trips and how much comparison studying have you guys done with the other teams, whether it's in League One or Championship in the USL, to sit there and say, okay, we're doing it this way, but we can do it this way, still have the same messaging? How much education has it been with all of the other franchises to sit there and compare notes and go, yeah, okay, we're doing this in our way, the right way, but how much comparison studying have you guys done?
It's a lot of comparison. Before I came into this, I was an educator. So I am all about comparing. You give me a Venn diagram and I can be there all day long. I am back and forth between, I'll make a spreadsheet and this is one way we're going to do it. This is another way we can do it. I'm a firm believer in always having plan A through Z planned out. So it has been a lot of work, crunching numbers, looking at other teams, looking at all the travel, looking at the expenses, because everything has gone up lately. What's sustainable, what is not, what is realistic, and what is not. We have sheet after sheet, and it's all on one sheet, just A through Z, what our best options are and how we're going to move forward. And if plan B falls through, we always have plan C, D, E, F, G.
One sheet? You're serious? It's all on one sheet?
I have to see it all on one page.
Okay.
So like I said, I was a teacher. And so if I see it all makes sense to me. Eventually, when I turn it in and give it to the owner or I share it with Eran, I make different sheets at the bottom. But for myself to see what's realistic as an educator in my past, I have to see it all together first to make sure I'm hitting every different angle.
Because to give you an example, this is one of my sheets that I have explaining everything this week that's going on the morning show. And so literally it starts out with like a bunch of names. And then as the week goes along, you sit there and you cross off something else and cross off something else. And by the end of Friday, you're hoping that everything is crossed off when you know it's not. So Eran, where is that one sheet? As he takes a big drink of caffeine, where is that one sheet that Marissa has that she has to see, or is it larger for you? Is it on a Google Doc? Is it on a legal pad? Is it on one of those ring binder notebooks like we had in high school? Is it on a dry erase board that I'm not currently seeing, that is 4 feet tall and 8 feet wide and wrapped around a corner in an office that's got a bunch of different colors of dry erase marker and squiggles and lines? Where is this? Two-part question. Where is this list?
I'm a big fan of the dry erase boards. I want those in every office that we have going forward, because I'm someone who likes to map things out as well and kind of draw a plan. I think she starts on paper, moves it to Google Docs, and then that's the easy way to send it out, because I just start on Google Docs and just go from there and make sure everyone has access to it. That seems to be the best way for a startup to get going.
Okay, so the second part of the question. What is the next thing on that list, whether it's on the one sheeter that Marissa has or your dry erase board that you have, that you guys think you can cross off to get ready for launch in 26 in USL League One?
I'm glad you asked, because we actually have a meeting right after this with our brand that we will be announcing here in a couple of weeks. We're partnering with a new brand to bring you guys new jerseys, new merchandise, the works. And we are very excited about when that's going to launch, because that's going to be very, very soon. That's all I can say.
Well, so you're not going to break the news on the morning?
I don't think I'm legally allowed, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, man. So then, Marissa, when it comes to your side of things, when it comes to ops, is there something else that you think you can cross off that's not going to be broken news this morning on a brand name or anything? Associations is what else can be crossed off the list in short term, knowing that we are 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving and another month from Christmas, and then Eamon wants to have training camp.
Yeah. I think one thing that is major that we are getting ready to cross off our list are the tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
The tryouts are coming up soon. I have everything prepared for the tryouts. I have the numbers ready. I have the tent ready. I have the chairs ready, the tables ready. I have the staff ready to do sign-ins. That is just around the corner. So that is one thing that is going to be crossed off the list almost immediately. We've been looking forward to this I've been looking forward to it for over a year, but in the past few weeks, as it's getting closer, we've just been prepping, making sure we have all our ducks in a row.
I'm getting messages every day about tryouts. So people are excited. And hey, here's a little benefit for anyone watching. We have warm tryouts. It's not cold here in November. You can come and be comfortable when you're playing.
Unless something comes from the flip side and it comes up through the Gulf and it sits there and it's a backdoor front and everybody sits there and goes, wait, it's snowing in Brownsville and Corpus Christi?
You gotta just pray it's not the 1 week out of the entire year.
No. And when it comes to, you mentioned Eamon Zayed, and he has that pedigree, Eran. We know him from his time at Northern Colorado, where and I'll phrase it this way. The situation was difficult for him to navigate at times, and he still took them on deep playoff runs. And we've had Eamon on the morning show occasionally to find out what's been going on in his coaching career and such. What's it like having a force of nature like him to be that coach for Corpus Christi, as he's already smiling and Marissa's sitting there going, yeah, I got stories I can't tell you. What's it like having that kind of a force of nature there as the first head coach for this organization?
Well, it's awesome that you asked, because we were with him last week and we were just talking things out. And I looked at Marissa and I looked at him like, we're the same people. Like, we think the same exact way. We want things done the same exact way, and we know how to go about it. So having somebody who's on the same page as us with the same mentality and an aggressive one at that is awesome to have. Someone who wants to come in and win right away and set a standard in the first year, which he did in Northern Colorado, and that escalated into the Jägermeister Cup. So he knows how to do things like this. And if you look at his playing career as well, he persevered through everything, bounced around, still made a name for himself in every place he went. And he's a fan favorite all over the place.
So, Marissa, we mentioned having these kinds of forces of nature. I know that when you're assembling a front office and assembling personnel, that you're looking for a particular kind of individual that will fit. You're looking for that person that understands where you're going, understands what you want, understands what you need, doesn't have to be asked twice. When it comes to those kinds of folks sending their CVs to you, what kind of individual are you looking for going forward in this launch of everything in year one? What's the kind of person that you need there at Corpus Christi to help navigate all of these things that are new for you guys?
I think you said it. We are looking for people that are very much like us. We have a list of things that need to be done. At no point does Dr. Kingsley have to call Eran or myself and be like, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. We know what we need to do and we push forward, we move. We don't have to ask, we don't have to wait to be told. So a lot of stuff gets done because we just continue to roll. As you said, we knock one thing off the list, onto the next, another thing. And that's really the kind of people we are looking for. I know it's not everybody's personality. A lot of people like to be told, like, okay, now you have to do this and now you have to do that. But in a company like this that's moving forward quite quickly, as we said, Thanksgiving, Christmas, hello, preseason, right? We need people that are just going to hit the ground running. And that's what we're looking for.
How much, Eran, has your phone blown up? You mentioned tryouts and such. And you're already laughing. Your phone, I imagine, is blowing up. Your DMs are blowing up, but getting a bunch of emails. What is the most, I was going to say equidistant, but that's not the right word. What's the furthest contact that you've gotten from someone who's interested in being a part of Corpus Christi, whether it's off the field or on the field? What's the most random, faraway contact you've had to be a part of this build?
Pretty much every country in East Africa.
Whoa.
Yeah. The DMs are blowing up from all sorts of amateur players in Africa that want to come over. They've taken notice to our social media page now that we've been more active, or they've heard something. Maybe they follow Coach Zayed, and they've just been reaching out like crazy. We've had people in the UK, people in Asia, the Middle East. So it's been fun to interact with these people, and their English isn't bad. So I try and direct them to the tryouts. Unfortunately, we can't help everyone get over here.
Yeah.
But we hope that maybe we have a few more in the future for them, and they find a way to get here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's how much of an education, Marissa, has this been for you when it comes to building something from scratch? Where I know that your knowledge base knows certain ways that you need to go, but how much of an adventure and how much of a learning experience has it been for you building this to this point, knowing that season 1's just around the corner?
It's been a big learning experience. Like I said, I was in a classroom for 21 years before this.
Mhm.
And so when I came into this, I was like, okay, I can bring a certain organization, but I had a lot to learn. I knew soccer. I played soccer growing up. My kids play soccer. I had already been really involved in the youth world. But when I stepped into Corpus Christi FC, it was a whole other world. There was semi-pro, and they were moving to pro. And it has been a huge learning opportunity. I have enjoyed every minute of learning and gaining knowledge of stuff that I absolutely had no idea that went into running a club.
And we all have different backgrounds.
We all have completely different backgrounds, and it has been one of the most positive experiences in my life. I think this has been life-changing for myself and my kids, and I wouldn't trade the knowledge I've gained for anything. It's been a huge learning experience.
Follow up. How has it been that rewarding and all the learning? How much are we talking here?
I'm talking like just learning little things about ITCs, things that I never had to do in the youth portion, right? Just learning about
P1 visas. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Learning about housing, learning about boarding, and just everything that goes into taking care of these players. Because as fans, we go to the games, but we don't know what's happening in the background. How did they get there? What were they fed before they get there? How many times did they have to stop? What's required? What is the most beneficial to the player? After how many hours should you stop, pull over, let them rest their legs? Mm-hmm. It was a lot of research, and dealing with the transportation. Studies show that if you stop at every 1 hour, 45 minutes, the players are going to play better. Huh. Or studies show that if they eat certain foods, they're going to perform better. Yeah. I mean, just stuff that you never think about when you're sitting at the game, watching, enjoying, cheering on your favorite player. There's a lot that goes on. Then game days are a total different operations. Getting there to the field, setting up the ticket booth, setting up the merge, making sure the athletic trainer is there, contacting athletic trainers, finding athletic trainers. It has been a huge learning experience.
I think.
All right. So then, Eran, what about for you on the comm side of things?
Yeah, it's so growing up, soccer was my entire life. My father was from Israel, and I'm from Northeast Ohio, where almost everyone's playing football. So I had the soccer ball in the crib. I like to tell people.
There you go.
And I played all through as long as I could. I played club in college and played in men's leagues, but my career took me into actually television news, and I decided to leave that this year. And throughout my time, I've worked with clubs and professional teams across the country, wherever I was. And I've seen how things work. I've seen how things should work because I've seen it from the other side. I know what's demanded from the television perspective. So I had to figure out what I really wanted, and I wanted to get back to soccer. And I looked around, and I had actually reported on Corpus Christi FC going pro. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have a pro team right here in my backyard. Let me just see what they need. And I kind of just fell in and started running off with it. And I know a lot of what comes along with this, but it's still a learning process. I love to learn on the fly, and I think I'm pretty good at it. So that's what has been rewarding for me, and being able to help, because when we see that team take the field in March, it's going to feel so good.
And for someone who spent time in the local market over at Chris, you know that time is limited when it comes to storytelling, and you know that you've got to figure out ways to tell the story and not have it be pinned into a soundbite that's only 35 seconds or a package that's a minute 45. And you've got to get your story out, and having basically the opportunity to have that clean slate where you can just sit there and create and figure out how to get the messaging out all over the United States. That's got to be, I think it's comforting, because you're not pinned in by producers that sit there and say, weather went long, you've got to cut, which happens a lot. And trust, it's like literally everything goes like this. If you're the sports anchor in a TV news situation, weather goes long on a sunny day, that comes out of your time, and you got to talk faster or cut some things. I know all about that stuff. So, I mean, it's got to be, I think, refreshing in a way that you can tell stories however you need to get the messaging out and not be encumbered by time constraints, especially when you don't have a whole lot of time to tell everybody, hey, we're starting in the spring. I need to get everything out there and blast it out there as much as possible.
Absolutely. That's what I sold Marissa on when I came on board, is I'm a great storyteller. And I'm finding different ways to do that now. And I love that my reach is farther, because that's always been my goal, is to be a storyteller at some level. But now that I get to do it with soccer is even better, because that's the one thing I think I know best in life, if you ask me. And we started small in the summer, and now we're playing around with a little bit of things now, but then we have some things planned for after the new year that we want to get going that might be a little bit more long form. So I can take that time and get everything right and be more creative and just explore with what we can get out there without losing people's attention.
All right. So Marissa, let me ask you this. What's the best story yet to be told involving Corpus Christi FC and heading into USL League One?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
That's a really good question. Wow, I have to think about that one.
Yet to be told. I think it's part of what we're going to work on. Telling the story, telling the story about
getting
Corpus
our
Christi.
story out there. We're Eran and I are working on our story of Corpus Christi. We're putting together almost like a documentary about how we started and where we're going. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that that comes to us here.
So you talked about looking at other clubs, and I do want to praise Portland Hearts of Pine in their first year. I think they did everything tremendously well.
They did very well.
We've seen their digital work, we've seen their social media work, their marketing, everything. I think they were on the right path, and they had that whole full year to prepare before their season. I think that's how they got it right. But definitely we're following a similar path. And I don't have any shame in looking at what other people are doing to get some ideas and then making it our own. That's part of life, and that's how we move forward.
All right. So Marissa, let me ask you this. What's the best thing that folks don't know about Corpus Christi and Corpus Christi FC?
Best person to ask.
We are a family-run organization. When you come to Corpus Christi FC, you are treated like family. Whether you are staff, whether you're a player, you come in and you get a love that you're missing from home, right? A lot of these players aren't able to go home. They're far from home. But when they come to us, they join a family. We're family owned. We're run by a local pediatrician. I tell everybody, I'm everybody's mom.
She really is. Coach was just saying how players he's spoken to from our USL2 clubs are saying how awesome she was to have for them away from home for the summer. And she just looked out for them at every turn.
That's strong. Obviously, that as things continue to grow, we're going to keep knocking on the door, especially as you guys get closer to match day one there, not just in USL League One, but they're at home and on the road. We're going to be keeping an eye on things as we go. Cannot thank you guys enough for spending a fantastic amount of time with us. I know that there's probably some brunch that's now going to happen, another cup of coffee that you got to slam in because you have this meeting coming up probably in about, 11 minutes?
We've got 2 meetings
back-to-back meetings today.
Yeah. But thanks a lot, guys. We really do appreciate it. Once again, Marissa Trevino, Director of Ops, and Eran Hami, the Comms Director for Corpus Christi FC, coming online in USL League One. Thanks for the education. Thanks for opening the door for us. And that we'll be knocking on it a lot, especially as we get into the 26th League One season. Can't wait to see how things continue to grow. Don't be a stranger. We'll catch up with you soon. Okay, guys?
Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
There we go. That's Corpus Christi FC and the build.